All right, peace and blessings, all praises to the Most High. Welcome to another episode of Taylor House Publishing, where we are bringing the voice of the voiceless into the minds of the masses. And this time it is the voice of Montianez Merriweather, who was one of the suspects who was charged with felonious assault and inciting a riot in the Cincinnati Brawl, as they're calling it. Now, I'm going to highlight part of his first appearance where the prosecutors tried to paint him as a part of a mob, but his lawyer does a masterful job of separating his actions from those of this violent mob that they are trying to paint, that just got together all of a sudden and decided to start beating up white people. And this is the problem with the whole case, is that they are lumping everybody's actions together as some sort of gang when each individual acted separately. Now watch this, Laurie, and I'm going to come back with a little more commentary on the situation. And once again, this video is used in fair use for commentary and literary purposes only.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This is case number B25-04011-A, Montianez Merriweather. You've been indicted with 3 counts felonious assault, 3 counts assault, and 2 counts aggravated riot. You received a copy of your indictment.
He has, Your Honor. The plea is not guilty as to all counts.
Question I have for you at this point. Has he been indicted federally on other charges?
Yes, Your Honor, on 1 weapons under disability that they decided to indict as of yesterday.
So are they going to pick him up, or
I haven't
our case first?
I haven't received information, as this happened late yesterday, but I still would like to address bond after consulting with another attorney that may be assisting with that. It would still be our expectation to ask for a release as that case is pending. Not to get too much into that, but there are other occupants in the vehicle that was involved with, so he may have a defense as to both.
Mr. Prosecutor, at the bond?
Your Honor, I guess the bond remains the same. I think it's reasonable.
What is the current bond?
I believe on Mr. Merriweather it is $500,000 with the indicia that bond be posted. The reason I think the bond is adequate, Your Honor, when these cases first came in through Room A, there's a very new situation. All the investigation had not been completed. I'm going to repeat myself quite a bit here this morning.
Please do.
The grand jury, after hearing the probable cause of these cases, added several charges to each and every one of these defendants. For example, Mr. Merriweather came into Room A with a felonious assault and 1 count of assault. Through their investigation and our presentation to the grand jury, he's now been indicted with 3 counts of felonious assault, 3 misdemeanor assaults, and 2 counts of aggravated riot. I think the bond, where it says appropriate, I would not ask to reduce the bond. I know he is a holder from the federal court system, and my great concern is if he posts a bond here, he would be taken into federal custody. On a gun charge in federal cases, Your Honor is aware there's substantial mandatory time. It's a very real possibility that if he was taken into federal custody, we would never get Mr. Merriweather back into Hamilton County for a good number of years. I believe the bond in this particular case is sufficient and adequate, and I ask that you keep it the same.
A few questions for you. I know that the initial charge was brought about by a couple of videos on TikTok and Facebook. Does the state have actually more videos that they're going to produce?
We do, Your Honor. Several videos have been received by Cincinnati Police Department. We have reviewed those. It is our plan within the next upcoming days, once discovery is filed by the numerous defense counsel, we will get them all copies of all videos. With their permission, I'll put together a court sequence that makes it make all sense. We'll turn that over appropriately. There are particularly, I think, of 2 videos that have never been seen as far as I know through social media.
Are those videos from individuals or from stationary cameras?
Stationary cameras.
All right, they were in the area?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did the alleged victims participate in grand jury process?
Yes, sir. I've personally been in contact with them. They are interested in going forward with these cases.
Are they local? Do they have local addresses?
Some do and some don't.
All right, but they will be here for the
Yes, sir.
trial.
Oh, yes, sir, 100%.
Because rumors are spreading that they are out of the country. That's not true.
No, sir. So just so everyone is aware, there was one person who was present. She is a citizen of Estonia, I believe. She is not any of the alleged victims here. Shortly after this event, she made the decision to go back home. She was here for either a vacation or a short visit, but she is not a party to this matter whatsoever.
So all of the victims are here?
Yes, sir.
Local. ready to proceed.
And I contacted them personally, and they're interested in going forward.
All right, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
As to bond, Your Honor, thank you. Judge, I will speak only, I'm going to be very careful about my representations based on what I have reviewed. Obviously, at this phase of the proceedings, it's arraignment. I have done numerous investigations and numerous interviews to make sure that everything I represent as far as our defense is as accurate as it can be. And I say that because this case, every time there's coverage of it, the prosecutor's statements about it, the comments used are the group, the seven, the riot. And I think as far as setting bond, it is very important for courts to look at an individual's conduct as it relates to what an appropriate bond is.
I agree.
And I say that because most of the videos shown where some of the conduct about stomping, kicking heads, things like that, as far as what would probably constitute the felonious assault, was not done by Mr. Merriweather. As I indicated, probably 20 videos that I've watched numerous times, and I brought them to court to make sure my representations are correct, indicate him involved in a fight, a fist fight, and there's no debate about that. And the video shows when some of the individuals go on the ground, Mr. Merriweather walks away. And I do have footage of that with me today. And so I say all that what we're here for, bond. We're not here to try the case. However, the bond of $500,000 is an incredibly high bond for that conduct specifically. And I know what he's indicted for, but what his conduct was, it will be our defense, is more consistent with an assault, maybe a worse than aggravated assault. So to come with objectivity before this court, I reviewed bonds set in 585 for similar offenses. All of them were $10,000 or less, and I have case names to present. And I say that also because the only charge of felonious assault that did not involve a firearm was a $50,000 bond at 10%. And that involved last week an individual that stabbed his father with a butcher knife, and that was $50,000 at 10. So now we're back to my client involved in fist fighting with a $500,000 bond. And we are asking this court to set a bond at $75,000 at 10%, much higher than the bonds that were set on other comparable felonious assaults. In addition to that, Your Honor, he's a father of five, three of whom are biracial, because that's become a crux of this case, and I think that that's important to note. I've interviewed witnesses that will testify at a hearing and at trial that racial slurs were thrown against him and his family on this date. And so that comes back to, while we're not here to try the case, we're here to set a bond on him using fists. There is no allegation that he had a weapon. There's no video I've received that contact was made by a kick. And so I asked this court to set that bond because it's reasonable with the conduct in other cases in this courthouse. And if the media was not here and if the attention on this case was not here, I genuinely believe that a $75,000 bond for a fist fight would be absolutely reasonable to almost any jurist in this courthouse.
Except for the fact that he was out on bond when he committed this, or allegedly committed this offense, correct?
And Your Honor, I
And
think
you know how I am, if you're out on
I agree with
bond,
that,
you
sir.
do another offense.
I agree, sir.
Right.
And so I think with that offense, while we're not here to try it, I
Right.
did a careful job of reviewing that case prior to today's hearing to represent to this court that involved a motor vehicle stop where other occupants were in the car.
Right.
And a firearm was found. He was the only person under disability. So it is important for sure, which is why I think $75,000 higher than the $10,000 bonds that I've seen across the board out of this courtroom.
Right.
We also would ask for EMD strict lockdown. That accomplishes a lot of the other goals of the purposes of setting bond, which I won't reiterate for the court. But I say all of that because I do think his conduct, I want to take this opportunity to make it very clear for everyone that is listening that his conduct, we do not believe rose to the level of felonious assault, and we ask that this court set the bond appropriately. Thank you.
Got it.
I'll make the record very clear so everyone can listen. Throughout the short duration of this case, several defense counsels said that racial epithets were thrown at these people. That was 1 minute and 47 seconds into this brutal beatdown. Were the words said? Yes. Were they inappropriate? Absolutely. But these poor people were being assaulted, stomped, WWE style elbow drops onto pavement. One woman was knocked out to the point that her head hit the pavement. We could be on a homicide. For counsel to say that he is only responsible for misdemeanor assault is beyond the pale. And against all the facts, she has not seen all the videos. Nobody has except myself and the officers involved here. Again, he was out on a bond for a weapons charge when he chose to get involved in this brutal beatdown. And again, so the word goes out, the word is clear. The horrible racial epithet that was 1 minute and 47 seconds of these people being beaten, stomped, not unconscious. I don't want there to be any type of misunderstanding about this. This fight was started by these defendants. They followed them on the corner. They told them, quote, "You were at the wrong party. Get off this corner." And that's where these assaults started. I think the bond is appropriate. This man has already out on a felony charge. He has now been indicted federally. I ask him to keep the bond the same.
Tell me about his prior record. I didn't ask about that.
As indicated, he's got a pending weapon under disability, CCW.
How many prior felony convictions?
Let me see what I'm sorry. Of course, I have that.
And Judge, while he's looking, and I understand that, I know the court is very patient, this will not be a back and forth,
I'll take your time.
but I just want to make very clear as well, that again, the prosecutor's comments as it relates to other individuals' conduct, WWE stomping, we agree with, absolutely cross the line and is inappropriate. But I would, until it is Mr. Montianez Merriweather, WWE slammed, kicked someone in the head. That's what the court is here for him specifically, not this they, the fight. That's the whole problem with this whole case. And I brought the body camera footage. Again, I have what I have, showing the individuals saying, smoking cigarettes, we don't need medical attention. So I appreciate Mr. Guinan's representations, but everyone's opinions about this case don't matter. What matters is, what did he do that day for this court to set a bond? And that's what I'm asking for the representations to be made.
Well, we were hoping to have that compilation video here today so that everybody could see it and there would be no question as to what happened. Because again, people are only seeing whatever videos are posted out there on Facebook. So they're not reliable and they're not indicative of the entire situation.
We agree.
So again, got to indicate that he's the only one that's seen the entire chart to finish out this incident.
Thank you for your patience on this record, Your Honor. In 2008, 2009, he was convicted of aggravated robbery, served a prison term of 7 years. That was his most recent conviction.
When was that?
2009, sir.
Okay.
Sentenced by Judge Nagel.
And served 7 years on that.
Yes, sir. Looks like it was 2 counts, concurrent time of 7 years.
All right. Anything further?
Just, Your Honor, that he was not present at the bar that Mr. Guinan referenced. He was there with his family and they were going to the food truck when this began. But I would also ask that the record reflect, if the video could be submitted to the court and the court takes it under advisement, that's how confident we are in his actions that
We
evening.
will always review the bond.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
Thank you, but that's all we have.
All right. Based on the fact that there's a prior record, the allegations, the fact that he has a federal holder, and he was out on bond when this occurred, the bond will remain the same.
All right, so we're going to stop it right there as Judge Alan Clayton Bigsby, Uncle Ruckus, Sambo Triggs decides to deny to reduce the bond from an unreasonably high $500,000 bond to what the lawyer clearly laid out as a fist fight. Now, originally, he was only charged with like simple assault or felonious assault, but then they came back and charged him with 6 more charges, 3 counts of a felony assault, 3 counts of assault, and 2 counts of inciting a riot. And they added these charges later on after he was arrested. And they also talking about a charge where he is out on bond for. Now, if you're out on bond, that means you get to court. That means you are innocent until proven guilty. And as the lawyer stated, this was a case where he was in a vehicle with somebody, and because he has some sort of a disability, he is not supposed to be around firearms. Now, and if you listen to the prosecutor, that evil white man, talking about, well, he's out on a federal charge, and if he goes to jail for the federal charge, it could be years before we get him back in this courtroom. Why is he wanting to get the conviction first? Because, of course, we know that the prison industry, the jail industry, the court system is a business. So states, cities, municipalities, they get certain amounts of money for each individual they put in jail, and also prosecutors get advancements and promotions based upon how many people they convict and how many years sentences those convictions lead to. Now, the prosecutor also made the mistake, like the lawyer pointed out, where comparing Mr. Merriweather's actions with the group. The prosecutor talking about, yeah, these people were kicked, they were stomped, they were WWE style, they were this. We could have been here for a homicide. That is not what Mr. Merriweather did, and that is the problem with them looping all of these actions together, which making it a more hyped up incident than need be, more racial than need be. As the prosecutor mentioned, look, this man has kids by a white woman, and so he wasn't even there partying. He was out there with his family, possibly his biracial kids, which the lawyer mentioned that people heard them screaming racial epithets to him and his family before the fight. And she also mentioned that these people were smoking cigarettes. And you've seen a video that I did, which highlighting the police cam body footage, like the people were smoking cigarettes. Some of them said they didn't even want to press charges, that they didn't need medical attention or anything like that. So now that all of a sudden these victims are so hurt. You see Holly on the phone texting, she declined to talk to police. So a lot of these people knew that they were in the wrong for starting that fight. Now, also the lawyer pointed out, look, you got him on a $500,000 bond. What he did is commensurate or equal to a fist fight. Like he fist fought when the people started beating him on the ground, he walked away. So he has all of those charges, like he assaulted 6 individuals and he incited 2 riots. He got 2 counts of inciting a riot. Like, what? How many riots were there? So that is what they do. They pile these charges on. They look at it as, well, the more charges we get on them, the worse it can make it look. And the judge fell for it. Well, considering he was out on bond and, considering what he is alleged to have done, he was in a fist fight. Judge Clarence Thomas. But, you see the media attention on this case and how it has handcuffed the judge to be able to make a clear and fair decision. Now, this appearance happened a week ago, and they do review bonds. Like the lawyer was like, look, if he get out of bond, we'll put him on the ankle monitor. There's no chance of him running or fleeing or anything like that. But yet and still, they still have this man on a $500,000 bond to what the lawyer said equated to a fist fight for his part of it. And so I think this is another travesty, and this is another example of black faces in low places not having the ability to judge fairly and dutifully because they are so concerned with what their white constituents or the white media or, their white bosses, masters, will say. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this video in the comments. And shout out to that lawyer for real, because she definitely, just made the case clear and concise that these bonds are outrageously high. These charges are outrageously administered to this black man. But y'all see the number 919-587-7782. Thank y'all for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And as always, peace and blessings.